I got it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Diamond Zone. Thursday morning, we got a special day for all of you. And as everybody knows, and there's new people on, we do these calls Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific time for the purpose of keeping people focused, different types of trainings. And what I want to do is make just a couple of announcements before we bring on our guest speaker. First off, we got our votes in yesterday, and the tally came back, and of course we are going to make the change. We will now be conducting the business overviews Sunday through Thursday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in a row at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, so make note of that. That will start this Sunday. Okay, so I think it'll be more consistent. I think now people can build for a briefing every night of the week. And we will be rotating different presenters into this format, and I think you're going to be very excited about being able to leverage that. As you know, guys, the key to our business is leveraging the simple system, because when you're out there talking to your prospects, as you all know, if they believe they can do it, it's going to better your chances to get them in. If they don't think they can do what you are portraying they would have to do, okay, then what happens is here comes procrastination. So you want to make sure everything that you're doing, from sending the 2-minute video to leveraging the system, everybody's watching, okay, the way they were introduced. And that's what I think this change is going to help with. So once again, Sunday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We'll make a big announcement on that too. Okay, so as everybody knows, guys, get your tickets to Vegas. If you miss a company event, okay, I don't know what to say, okay, but I've never missed one. I doubt if our next speaker has ever missed one, but that is the key to your success. We've added the ultimate training to the Vegas event. I want to make sure you guys know something. This is not the company. This is a group of individual distributors coming together to give you a skill set training that starts on Thursday. Remember, the event is the 21st and 22nd. So this is October 19th. We're going to cover a lot of different topics, all different topics that's going to help you take your business to the next level. And as you can see, we have great speakers. We have grand presidents, Tone and Vaughn. We got us, of course. We got Rabu and Sherry. We got T and Stacy, special guest speakers. Chad and Natita, Grand President Millionaires. Jeremy Roma. So it's going to be, if you guys could figure it out, I know some of you made your tickets. I would be there, that's for sure. We're going to start at 10 o'clock. Doors open at 8:30. This is on Thursday. Break for lunch, go from 2 to 7. Afterwards, we'll all be hanging out, having drinks, getting something to eat. It's going to be a great day of training and socializing with all the people you're going to be spending 3 days with in Las Vegas. Okay? Now, I do want to emphasize this. On Friday, there is a diamond dinner, diamond reception, okay, that the company is putting on, diamonds and above. For those people who have not hit the diamond ranking, we don't want to leave you out. So if you're part of this, okay, there will be a dinner and social event at the Palace Station Hotel from 5 to 10. So I just want to be clear again. If you go Thursday and you're a diamond and above, on Friday, you will not be staying for this event. You'll be going to Caesar's Palace for the company's event for diamonds and above. If you're less than a diamond, you will be staying at the Palace Station and dinner will be served. So this event is separate from the company. It's $99, okay, for the all-day training and the dinner on Friday night, okay? So just note that. Tickets are still available. The venue is Palace Station. So I'm very excited about being able to be there and see everybody. I cannot wait for Vegas, guys. For me, Vegas is like a reunion every time there's a company event. Okay, it's seeing all of you. It's interacting, right? It's having a drink with each other, going out to lunch. It's really focusing our minds for what we're all going to do in the next 90 days. And I'm going to make the transition now to our guest speaker, and I'm excited that Mr. Bob Bearden was kind enough to get on the call today. And I want to share with you something. You know, Mr. Bob Bearden just hit a prestigious rank within our company. I think everybody knows, right? Obviously, the first goal is to everybody to get to diamond. We know that. Okay, diamond's where the action starts. But president, okay, is when your business starts. Now, when you hit president, you're unemployable. Let me just put it that way. Okay, when you hit president, I'm telling you, it'll be very difficult for you to even think about ever getting a job again. Well, Mr. Bob Bearden just hit the president rank. I got to spend a lot of great time with Bob at Disrupt. A lot of you met Bob at Disrupt, and you know, we spent 2 days together at an event in Louisiana, putting together the Disrupt event, right? When we all came together on different topics. And here's one thing you know: when you meet somebody who has a heart, okay, for his people, okay, you know this person doesn't last in the industry as long as Bob has lasted. Okay, unless he was doing all the right things. And I think you're going to agree with me. And I would like everybody, as I go out here, hang on. Bob, I want to show you what a Diamond Zone welcome is, okay? So hang on one second. There we go, okay. So I want everybody to welcome Mr. Bob Bearden to the call. Everybody wave, smile. Smiles, everybody. What was that, Fantasy Island? Smiles, smiles, everyone. Okay. The plane. All right. So, let me find.
Welcome, Bob. Welcome, Bob Bearden. Welcome.
Okay, now wait. Now I gotta find him. Hang on a second.
Bob, you're awesome. Get that gun.
He hasn't presented yet. Okay.
Oh, we know it's
I'm just teasing. Okay, Bob, I'm making you host.
All right. I don't need the screen though. You know, I didn't prepare PowerPoint, so I do have prep.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, without further ado, Mr. Bob Bearden, let me mute everybody out, Bob, except for you. All right, sir. Take it away. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you, man. Good morning, everybody. Man, I have to say before I get started, you know, it's cliche, right? But teamwork makes the dream work. My rank of president means absolutely nothing without the team. You know, the team's the one that does it. You can never do this by yourself. And so I love our team. We got some incredible leaders. Huge shout out. If you guys are friends with Jan Lambert or Stefan Moran on Facebook, give them some love as well. They went president as well. It was an incredible cycle run. So it's always kudos to the team, right? That's one thing I've learned. It took me a few years to learn that, to get out of my own way and understand that teamwork is really what this industry is about. You might be a super rock star in what you do today, but network marketing is about building leverage through the efforts of other people with your help. And the only way you can do that is really assembling a team that's all in the same direction, working together. So, man, I'm excited. You know, I was talking to Jeff about what to really share. And the topic I'm going to share, when I first tell you the title, you're probably going to say, oh, man, everybody talks about that. And that literally is the word consistency. But I'm going to break it down for you today a little bit different than what you've always heard probably. You probably heard, you know, people saying you got to stay consistent with prospecting and planting seeds. Well, that's just one thing. If you want to be, literally, if you want to be a president or a diamond and above, you want to be a six-figure earner in network marketing, I really don't care what company it is. We just happen to have an advantage here with World over everybody else. But these top 10 things that I'm going to share with you right now are crucial. And people always wonder why they don't go to another level. They've been in the game for a while. They've joined this company. They join another company. And things don't necessarily break through and happen for them. It will happen for you and every single person that comes on your team if they follow these things. So make sure you have a notepad. I didn't have time to prepare this on a PowerPoint. You know, one of the things that happens when you really get into the habit of being consistent in these things I'm going to talk about is literally by accident, the compound effect will take over. That's what you're looking to have happen in your organization, is for it to just kind of compound and move away from you so the group continues to grow without you. I think that's the end game, is what everybody is looking for. You know, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you can literally, you know, take vacations whenever you want. You don't have to be in such of a grind mode, although I don't think I'll ever get out of that because I love this so much. But okay, so you have to get these things I'm about to share with you in a habit. And the way you get into a habit with certain things that you're not used to is to set an alert on your phone for certain things I'm going to go over. Before you know it, it's a habit. You ever notice when you got some people on your team and you send them to a training, or you send them to, you know, the webinars that happen, and they don't show up? They wouldn't show up if you didn't remind them. Well, that's the first thing you need to get in, that habit that you don't need to be reminded from your upline when things are and when things are happening and how to get, you know, keep your team involved. You have to become, it's the first step. You have to become the leader to not rely on your upline to tell you when things are happening. It's all out there. You know when it is. So you got to get that into habit. So let's get started. First thing, obviously, is prospecting, right? If you don't stay consistent prospecting, then what'll happen is you'll go on spurts, and it'll grow and die and grow and die because your team will do what you do. So if you prospected really hard this week and you contacted, I don't know, 50, 60 new people, you got some seeds planted. A month goes by, 6 weeks goes by. Guess what? If you didn't keep planting seeds, then that initial bulk of cultivation, you know, you're only going to get a few out of that. So all that goes by, then your next 30, 60 days is going to be pretty slow. Because what happens is, just like a farmer, you know, he plants the seeds. He doesn't go this weekend and get the crop and harvest. That in network marketing, typically, guys, you have to understand that when you exert a burst of energy, the major results of that are not going to fully show up for about 90 days. So if you've stopped planting seeds, you've stopped prospecting personally, chances are many on your team have as well. And when you get past 90 days, it's going to be like starting all over again. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Grow, die, grow, die, grow, die. That's one thing you got to keep personally, is keep prospecting. And I like to use the term build your list. You need to continue to build that list as you go. You know, some people say no today. It means not now. Don't forget those people. Go back 3 months later, 4 months later, give them an update. What's happening, okay? So prospecting and following up, of course, utilizing the system. That's number one. You got to be consistent with that. That's the most important thing, okay? Number two, plugging in. You have to stay consistent plugging in. You have to stay near the fire. And I'd share a story that, you know, some people went camping, and then one guy decides to, in the middle of winter, and they got a big fire burning, and everybody's nice and warm, and it's fun. And one guy decides he's going to go out for a walk. It gets dark. He gets lost. He's no longer near the fire. He fizzles out. He dies. That's what happens here. If you don't stay close to the fire, the world's going to get you. The haters are going to get you. And pretty soon you're going to start going, oh, you know, maybe Susie's right. oh, maybe Johnny's right. Someone in your team quit because they couldn't get through customer service. And they're just in your ear, in your ear, in your ear. If you're not plugged in next to the fire, I don't care how super galactic you are, it's going to start to penetrate your mindset. You got to stay plugged in. What do I mean by plugged in? Well, all of you guys understand you're here this morning. And by the way, Jeff, I'll plug my whole team every morning at 9 a.m., at 7 a.m. This is beautiful. This is what people need. Kudos to you and your leadership. I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have stuck in there had I not kept around the fire and been around leaders like Jeff and Rabu and Jeremy and, the rest of them, Chad and Atita. I have to stay plugged in and next to the fire. You don't think, we're leaders here. We can talk candid. You don't think that, we're tired of dealing with solutions and being customer service. Here's the good thing. They're getting it all together. Of course we dealt with that stuff too. But if we wouldn't have stayed next to the fire, that negative would have kept in our head. We might be gone from now. I can tell you right now, personally, if I wouldn't have stayed next to the fire, if I wouldn't have kept listening to Jeff and I wouldn't have kept listening to Chad and Atita and the Monday and Wednesday, here's another thing. How many of you, some of you have work, I get it. But if you work, you gotta go watch the videos. Why? That's the number one deal of a leader. You know what's going on. I can't stand it. I deal with it because we're in the people business. But one thing that drives me crazy is when my leaders call me and they say, so, what happened on the leadership call today? What happened on the up? I don't feel like I'm going to tell you. You should go watch the video. It's part of staying plugged in. But more importantly, you have to stop relying on your leader, your upline. You have to be the leader. I'll never forget, I'm not going to get off too much here, but I'll never forget when early on in my career, I went full-time, I went broke. Some of you know my story in the mortgage industry. So I go full-time, and we do real good. And the funny thing is I followed it perfectly. Everything went great. We got to $10,000 a month, and then I chilled, right? I didn't keep prospecting. I didn't stay. I was plugged in, but I wasn't really doing the things. And all of a sudden, my business went down. And next thing you know, my results were a little less, $4,000, $5,000 a month. And then what happened was I started playing the blame game. I'm like, why can't I just recruit a leader? If I would just recruit one of these leaders, if I could recruit a Jeff Giamalba in my group, I would be rich, right? And I kept saying that. And a mentor of mine said, Bob, you're never going to break through until that leader you're looking for, you become. You become that leader, and guess what? Leaders will attract to you. It's weird how it works. It's happened for me. It will happen for you. These are the things I'm sharing with you that you have to do to kind of step your game up if you really want to make it here. The next thing, and don't forget Wednesday's updates with Taylor Worry. The next thing, personal development. You got to stay plugged into that because it's your personal growth. See, there's a lid that happens. And if you stop growing, you hit the lid, then what happens is your team stops growing. You start reading, you start listening, you start diving in, you start getting your mindset right, you're starting to grow. Guess what? Your team can grow. That lid starts to lift, your team will grow. It's weird how it works. A lot of this stuff is really, what's the right word? Maybe subliminal. Like you don't see it, but it happens, okay? So you got to stay plugged in. I never get tired of Jim Rohn. It's a great one to listen to. I just personally like him, I've been looking for you for 6 months when people tell me they don't have any money, right? So personal development's key. You got to keep growing in order for your group to grow. Now, I don't mean get fanatic with it. Read 10 pages of a good book every day. Think about that. You'll get through a couple of books a month. Just stay consistent with that. Here's another great one. And I'm telling you, this is where a lot of people that get some people in the business, they're sponsoring, they're plugging in, but they don't get their distributors started right. And that person will join and be gone. Understand, when you sponsor somebody, your job just begun. It's not over now. Just because you got them in, the job just started. Now, it's not your job to babysit and handhold and all that stuff. It's your job to communicate with that new person exactly what they need to go do and be there with them on maybe a few of their calls, 10 or 15 of the calls they make, or have them text you first. What I like to do when I sponsor somebody new, if they want to do the texting instead of calling, I'll make them text me as I'm a prospect, because I'll tell them exactly some options of what to put. OMG, John, you got to check this out. Hey, John, I just found out about this and I thought about you. Man, you got to check this out. You know, there's several different things, right? You can't say the right thing to the wrong person and vice versa. But so I'll do that, and I'll keep it short, and I'll tell them, and I'll say, okay, pretend I'm a prospect, and they send me the text, and it's a friggin' book. Man, I just found out about this new company. They were formed in, Italy, and they got this great, and they go on and on and on and on. And I mean, it's literally, sometimes it'll come through, ding, 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 like 3 texts. I'm like, dude, I didn't say to do any of that. I said to put, OMG, Mike, I just found out about something. I thought about you. If I send you a 2-minute video, will you watch it? Give me your feedback. Short, sweet, to the point. Now, the way I teach and the way Jeff teaches, the way we all teach, when we're prospecting, we're not talking about Fabio and blood pressure and glucose and the device and all this stuff. In fact, world, Hilo, blood pressure, Galdi, none of that even comes out of my mouth. Ever. The tools do that. Okay? But you have to get people started right. And, you guys are blessed with, Jeff and Lisa here. They've kind of led the way with an incredible email to send to somebody straight away. You want to get them plugged into Facebook right away. You want to make sure they're Team World Changers. You want to make sure they understand how to set up their high payout, for crying out loud. I get people that call me, they've been in 6 months, they finally engaged, they made $1,000 and they're mad because the company didn't send them a check, but yet they never went and set up their wallet. I tell people, man, if you got a new job and you got hired, would you not ask the company how you get paid? I mean, if they said it's direct deposit, you have to go into our automated system and upload a voided check, would you just not do it? Of course you would do it. So get your distributors off to the races. Don't just let them sit there and say, well, you should have plugged in. Some people aren't going to. Again, you're not here to babysit and handhold. Some people will, some people won't. Some don't stay. But it's your job as a leader to get them started right. Get consistent with that. You got to keep the positive mental attitude. I went through that in personal development. You got to stay consistent with that. You can't be sometimes at the top of the roller coaster, sometimes at the bottom of the roller coaster mentally. You want to try to stay even keel as much as you can, consistently as much as you can with your attitude. I could have easily been jumping up and down and taking 3-4 days and been all excited because we hit president, but that doesn't do me any good, because now my job's to go, okay, let's pull up some more people to get to diamond. You got to keep that attitude keel, right? A couple of months ago, things were, customer service, everybody's calling me 500 times a day. A lot of times I had to be conscious because I'd hit the bottom of the roller coaster. Like, what am I doing? This is stressing me out. Here's the thing. Once you realize you're getting in too high or too low, recognizing that that's where you're going is step number 1, and then get out of that space as fast as possible, especially the bottom end of the roller coaster. You start getting really negative, people are getting in your head, you got to recognize that right away and get out of it as fast as you can. So that's your first goal, is recognize, get out. And then what you're doing is, you might not recognize it for 2 days and you're driving your upline crazy because you're complaining all the time. Now, I'm telling you stuff that's me personally, okay? So what happens is you start to recognize it, 2 days go by, you go, okay, oh my gosh, it's been 2 days, I've been so negged out, no wonder. You might even have to call and apologize to your sponsor. Then before you know it, you're getting out of it in 5 minutes. You're like, it's warranted. Guys, we all go through negative stuff. You just got to get out of it. You got to get out of it quick, stay plugged in, stay with the fire. So keep a good mindset, be conscious of that. Here's a great one. At the end of the week, You gotta celebrate and recognize the victories in your team. I don't care how big or small. You gotta stay consistent with this. Recognition is huge, right? Babies cry for it, men die for it. Recognition. So if somebody, all they did was got one extra person this week and they went team builder, you have to treat that like they just went president millionaire, because it is. The early stages of getting it going is more important than going from grand diamond to president. We got a little momentum. There's people in there. But it takes the beginning, and you have to celebrate those victories. If you don't, those people are going, they're seeing other people do it, and they're like, they finally do something good, and their business has a little spike, and you don't recognize them. They're like, why am I not being recognized? Am I not good enough? Believe me, people think that, okay? So celebrate the victories. Now, even more important than celebrating the victories is consoling the defeats. So somebody's trying to go for diamond, they get to 7,000, they don't make it. Guess what? Naturally, they're disappointed. It's human nature. But if you're not calling them and go, look, it's okay, you kicked it this week. 7,000, are you kidding me? You just made some good money. You just surpassed platinum. So let's go after diamond this week. Put a plan in place. Figure out who their leaders are. Go start doing some launches. Make sure people are plugged in. Do some welcome calls. Welcome people to the team. But it's important that you let your people know that if they didn't hit where they were going, it's okay. It's okay. If any of you are like me and you set lofty goals, it's rare I actually hit the goal I set for myself. But because the goal is so high, it doesn't even matter. It just keeps me stretching, because you'll hit something bigger than you've ever hit before. So if you're not setting your goals high enough, I don't even have that written down. You should make sure you stretch yourself in your goals. But you got to celebrate and console those defeats. 2 more things I have. Number 9, staying engaged in your Facebook groups. It's very easy to hit the lazy button. What I mean by that is the like button, right? You'd be, oh, I should go to the Facebook group and play team. So you go there and you just go like. I mean, there's thousands of people in these Facebook groups. There should be hundreds of people. When somebody comes in your group, you need to welcome them. And if somebody else welcomes them, I don't care if they're in your team or not, you need to be welcoming to the family. This is one big world family. You got to do that. Recognition, again, that's what it all boils down to. You got to stay engaged in there. Hey, leaders, diamonds and above, not even diamonds and above. Some of you are incredible leaders in your industry that just joined. There's nothing wrong with going live in your Facebook group and giving a tip. Help the whole team. Stay engaged in that Facebook group. That's where the family sits around the dinner table and is able to, recognize and get questions answered. Don't use it as a complaining platform. I know you guys don't. You're leaders. You're all here today. Some people do that. What I have in my Facebook group is I got a few admins and they got to approve the post. But if I see a really negative one, I don't just delete it. If you're an admin of a Facebook group, don't just delete it. Now, I don't add it to the page, but I go and message that person and, address what their concerns are a little bit and try to mindset them, flip them, and get them around, okay? So everybody's here in the same boat. I can promise you this right now. It doesn't matter if it's World or any other company. You're going to have these challenges if you don't do these things. Doesn't matter. And every company goes through challenges. I would rather go through the challenge in the very beginning. So, 6-7 months from now, we're going to be, tipping a glass. People are going to be breaking diamonds like this. And we're going to go, remember when. And it's going to be a great feeling. So we have to keep conscious of where we are today. So gang, take those top things. Stay consistent with all those things. I know it's 10 things. I know it seems like a lot. It's really not. Work them into your daily routine. They're simple. Just stay consistent, and I promise you, your group will follow suit. You'll start developing leaders. Your leadership will grow like crazy, and you'll make it to diamond above as well. So I'm looking forward to meeting and seeing a lot of you guys in Vegas. So that's what I got this morning, Mr. GMO.
Hey,
I'll turn it over to you, brother.
Perfect. Stay on with me though, brother. Hang on one second. Can you do me a favor? I just want people to know just a little bit about you and your background, Bob, and because I just think leveraging people's stories is so important. So can you tell people a little bit about your background, how you got involved with World?
Yeah, so I got involved in network marketing about 2002 part-time. Started a mortgage company. I would have never even learned about personal development if it wasn't for joining network marketing. I didn't have a lot of success to begin with, but a guy told me, read Think and Grow Rich. No one else ever told me that. And I read Think and Grow Rich, and I built this big mortgage company, and the industry crashed. And, I worked for myself, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And before that, I was a traveling musician, so I have no college degree, so I couldn't go get a farm job or anything like that. So I didn't know what I was going to do, so I decided to go full-time in network marketing and decided to get out of my own way and start listening and following systems. Now, I will tell you this. A lot of people see stories and think, oh, they just must have been real successful in the past or whatever. But look, when I joined network marketing full-time in 2010, I was losing my house. I was literally, you probably won't believe me, but I was 42 months behind on my mortgage, playing the game. Thank God it was a mortgage crisis because there was thousands, and I think that helped leverage that time. Most people would have walked away. Most people would have stopped fighting. Well, we didn't. I kept on. I had a car repoed. I had collectors calling me every day. I had letters of collection companies coming every day. And I'll never forget, because I was stressed out every day about worrying about all of that stuff. And I had the mentor. He was a mentor of mine in the mortgage business, and I was really stressed out. He said, listen, he said, unplug your phone. He said, shred every type of mail that comes in that you think is a collection letter. Don't even look at it. Just shred it immediately. And he said, start focusing on the things you want, not what you don't want. Gang, I joined a company in 2010, started focusing on my world's going to change. My world's going to change. I stopped focusing on I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my house. And literally about 4 months after I joined that company and started really focusing on mindset, I was awarded a loan mod, saved a house. Now, I didn't lose a car in a repo. Most of the time, people that join, if they're going through all that, I had 86 no's in a row as well, by the way, when I launched that team. 86 no's in a row. Number 87 put $5 million in volume in my business in 3 years. So it's a good thing I didn't quit, right? That was kind of my breakthrough. But I could have easily quit. I mean, every single day, electric shut off, internet shut off, figuring out a way to get them back up, running back and forth to the pawn shop. I mean, you name it, I did it. So when people tell me they don't have money, people tell me they're going through stuff, one of the reasons I'm grateful that possession in my life happened is because I really do know how it feels. But I also know that you can change it, because I did. Well, Bob, you're so good at talking to people. You're so good at sales, blah, blah, blah. I sucked when I was in that mindset, trust me. So if I can do it in network marketing, listen, I had skill set, but that's why I couldn't make it in network marketing. I couldn't get out of my own way. So what happened was I go on to a good run. Some things happened kind of ethically and morally that I wasn't tuned in with. I wasn't yoked with, and I had to leave. You know, some people were still thriving. Some people thought I was freaking nuts for leaving. And I've went on a journey, and, I've met some great leaders, and I was really disappointed in the industry about a year and a half ago. I'll never forget Jeremy Roma and I sitting on my patio going, man, is there really a company out there that is worth investing our time again? Both of us. Man, when he called me and shared World with me, I really wasn't even being perceptive. I wasn't even listening. Sometimes it takes different things. He comes back in November. He says, dude, listen to me, man. No, I guess it was September. You're missing the boat. You already missed about 300 people or so that could have been under you. You know this is a binary. What are you doing? I'm like, okay, I'll buy the device. Still didn't even look into it. Then I started to see and watch him and watch what was going on. And I just fell in love, guys, with everything we have here. We got uniqueness. It's fresh. Yeah, forget about the few little issues we have. They're going to be gone before you know it. But we got something no one else has. We got stuff coming that no one's going to have for a long time. We got great leadership. It's fun. There's none of the gotchas that are typically in MLM. Embrace it and believe, because I'm telling you, if I can break through, I haven't had a job in 8 years. 8 years. Haven't had a job. Now, it ain't always been peachy, right? But once you figure this out and understand what it takes, these 10 things, and staying consistent, right? You can do it anywhere you go. Again, we just have an advantage of what we have here at World, but you can do it over and over and over again. And that's what I've learned in my journey. I'm grateful for what I went through, Jeff. It made me understand what people really do go through. And I think sometimes, you know, the good Lord will knock you down. He's not knocking you down. It's the decisions you made, but he's going to go, see what happens when you do this. And you feel that so that you can move forward and truly help people in a sincere way. See, I think there's a huge difference between persuasion and manipulation. And if you're persuading people in a sincere way because you know where they are, you've been there, but you know there's hope that you can help them change that because you did, then sky's the limit. So guys, I would never do anything. I mean, I have a few ventures that I'm a part of that are nothing to do with network marketing, but I would never not do network marketing. It's an incredible vehicle to help others, and it's a great way to leverage, to earn money and earn that off of the efforts of other people with your help. So Jeff, that's kind of my story, man. I'm excited. I'm chasing after you guys, and I think come January, February, March, we're going to see a lot of diamonds, a lot of double diamonds, a lot of president millionaires breaking. So
yeah, well, and you know, I think that part, what you just shared right there, Bob, I think everybody, you know, thinks, you know, when you hit a rank, these guys never went through problems. You know, these guys were, you know, given a silver spoon. You know, these guys, you know, they just got involved in network marketing and it just happened. I mean, I look back and Chad and Natita and Jeff and Lisa, we were the same rank in our other company. Okay, and when you hear Chad and Natita say, it was 17 years to get here, and all the different things that they had to go through. And I will tell you, just listening to your story now, and I want everybody, you know, about 150 people on to this morning, you know, this is the stories you want to share. This is what I talk about when you do your testimonials, like we do Open Mic Friday. Now, I look at the notes I took. I took notes on everything Bob said. I've been doing this 24 years. But you know what? Every time someone's there, I could learn. Okay, but you know what I really learned? I learned his story. That to me was the most powerful thing. Okay, it's just hearing what Bob has gone through. I'm thinking to myself, shoot, man, I wish I didn't pay my mortgage for 48 months. I would have saved I would have figured that out, damn it. Okay, so I learned that trick. No, I'm teasing. But one of the things, you know, I took this note, plugging in. You know, I'm listening to this, I'm going, you know what? If I wasn't plugged in, and every time I hit an obstacle, which was, by the way, every single day, okay, I wouldn't be here. And people think to myself, well, what's the secret? Plugging in. Let me ask you all a question. Aren't you plugged into your job? Every day, 8 to 10 hours. We don't even think about it. And I love what Bob said. You know what? There's leaders calling him, and I'm listening to this. I'm shaking my head going, hey, what happened on the update call? You know what I do? You should have been on. Click. It's amazing. People, well, I don't understand why my business isn't working. You don't understand why your business isn't working? Now, I'm not speaking to this group, Bob, and I want to share with you. This group is plugged in every morning. I respect this group. When people see this group, you know what they say? Oh, my gosh. Because I want to know who's on the team. And unless they're plugged in, I know they're not on the team. Bob and I might have combined. Let's just say combined. We have 10,000 people in our groups, me and Bob. Okay? Let's just use that number. If Bob and I only have 400 people in Vegas, that's all we have on our team. We don't have 10,000. We have 400. You see him shaking his head? That's who's really doing it. But I don't need 10,000. I need a couple of good ones. That's all. Who you have plugged in is who you really have on your team. Okay? And the other thing, I mean, I'm taking notes here. Recognition, I love that one. Consistent recognition. People work harder for recognition, you may argue with me, than they do money.
No, that's true.
They want to walk across that stage and they could have spent $10,000 and made 100, but they're walking across that stage. That's what gets people excited. Celebrate your successes. And I love also what he said. Okay, make sure you're there for their defeats, to pick them up. And I tell all of you, I respect all of you. What I don't respect is someone not doing it. I have no respect. You're taking the journey. You're doing the things. We're going to be there, guys, as a family to pick each other up. Okay? Bob's picked me up. I picked Bob up. Okay, you don't think we go through stuff? I'm going, who do I talk to, damn it? Who do we talk to? Who do you think we talk to? We don't talk to all of you because bad news doesn't go here, right? We have to vent here. Okay, but you know what? Taking everything we've gone through, I wouldn't trade one day from here, ever. One day, okay, for somebody that says, well, my customer service is perfect. Great. Okay, I'm telling you what we have here, guys, is very special. And when you have people like Bob and you start meeting some of the leadership, that's why you got to be in Vegas. You got to get around the heat. You got to be able to pull Bob aside and have a conversation with him. You know what that does? People go, it's not just me. These people are just like anybody else. Look at Bob has eyes too. He has a couple of ears. He has a mouth. Wow, he got to president. How did that happen? He took the journey and he didn't quit. So Bob, I appreciate you. Okay, Diamond Zone. Okay, big round of applause to Mr. Bob Bearden. Look at Bob. Woo! Woo! Okay, this has been recorded. You guys know where it's going to live, right? Giamalva Global YouTube page, Giamalva Global YouTube. Okay? Tomorrow morning, open mic Friday. See you guys, and remember the change, Sunday through Thursday on the opportunity briefings. Bob, once again, brother, thank you.